welcome to the show.
This guy got a mistletoe belt on.
Gosh, that is bad.
The whole plane smells like weed.
Those were the days.
It's a joke, you idiot.
Looked in the mirror, I'm like,
Good old innocent fun. Welcome back, everybody, to Troublemakers, the podcast where each week we bring on a guest and they tell crazy stories about their lives. I'm your host, Dylan Krasinski, coming to you from a beautiful night in Astoria, Queens. With me, as always, is my enigmatic co-host, my man with the plan, the big dog, Mr. Ray Zawodni.
You say the word enigmatic wrong almost every single
Well,
week.
you know, I try.
You threw a B in there.
Yeah.
And then badly, okay.
Enigmatic.
Either way, it's the thought that counts, Dylan. Thank you so much for
It
that
is.
wonderful introduction. I want to thank everybody that's been checking out Troublemakers, whether you're watching us on YouTube, full video episodes, checking out reels, shorts all over social media, or you're one of our audio listeners. We love our audio listeners on Apple Pod, Spotify. If you are one of those audio listeners, we ask for a huge favor. Please leave us a rating and a review. And if you're going to leave us a rating, make sure it's a 5-star rating. Absolutely nothing less. If I go out there and I find that there is a rating less than 5 stars on our podcast, I will find you, and I promise you that my face will be the last face that you see before your children become orphans.
Oh, wow.
That was dark.
Anyways, we got a very special guest on the podcast today. A hilarious guy that I haven't seen in a while, which is unfortunate, but it's fortunate that I could see him today. The hilarious Joe Nunnink.
Oh, thanks for having me. Look at that.
Look out,
That's
dude.
nice. That's huge.
I also thought there was like a 50% chance that he was going to say your name wrong.
Oh, me
because
too.
we were talking about that story as you were coming here.
Well, you know what made it. You know what made it fresh in my mind is just today. I posted a picture from a show, and Jack Burke just commented, "Was Joe Nami there?"
Okay, so we're saying his name.
Sure. I mean, no, that was...
I didn't know if you were going to say it.
No, we can tell the story. I mean, he doesn't listen to the pod, and who gives a shit if he does? It's not a bad story. We were at we were at your house, right? We're hanging out at Ray's house. This is like last year, and our friend Jack Burke was coming, and we're watching the games, and he goes, "Oh, I'm bringing Joe Nami," and me and Ray go, "What?"
And he's with me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and he goes, "Oh, I'm bringing Joe. He's a real cool guy." And
I
me
was
and Ray were like,
I didn't know you even knew that dude.
we're like, since when do you guys hang out,
It
dude?
was
Yeah.
the first time we ever hung out, so he didn't even
It
know
was.
my last name.
So funny. And then you showed up and we were like, oh,
A completely different guy. I've
oh,
never
that
met.
Joe. No, we're into
Yeah.
that.
The expectations were very different.
Oh, dude, it killed me, man. It was so funny.
By the way, is Joe Nami still kicking? I haven't heard anything.
No, I haven't seen him in a while.
Nice guy. This is a
Yeah, no one could argue with that.
real nice guy. I haven't seen him in forever, no. This is a real inside baseball
This
podcast
is-
yeah,
for
it's a
the
real,
Astoria comedy scene.
We're gonna delete this and just filter in our ad reads.
Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah.
I don't blame you.
We'll put in the story I told before we started
Yeah.
recording.
Yeah.
That story rock.
Oh, thanks, dude.
About how much you like saying the N-word.
Whoa!
Government sanctioned, though.
It
You know
is.
what was really weird is we used to read like books in school, and I think it was Tom Sawyer that has a couple hard uses of the N-word. And I went to like a predominantly black high school.
Oh, wow.
And I remember in reading class, or not reading class, in English class, I should have been in reading class. That was for me and the rest
Ray
of the
went
kids in the
after
helmets.
school to reading class.
Yeah.
But you remember you have to read aloud. I don't know if you did that.
Yeah.
So we're like reading passages from this book, and I remember one of those happened to by chance land on a white dude in class. And you could just see that like it coming up in the paragraph, and I'm looking at the teacher. I'm like, why would you do this?
Is there
to
a better
somebody?
feeling in the world than looking 2 sentences ahead, and maybe he doesn't even see it yet? You know, he's reading word for word.
Oh,
And you see him pause.
He didn't say it, but you witnessed him like doing the, he's going through the reading, and his voice is just like this, and then he's like, everything starts slowing down a lot, and he's like, and then Tom. He said to his friend, blank Jim, and like I think he hit it with a hard blank, dude.
The teacher should have been like, "All right, we're gonna do reading today. Aaron, you start. Shannon, you're second. We're gonna go a little out of order. Paragraph.
Tyrell, why don't you take the middle of
Devondre, you're gonna read paragraph 3.
Yeah, we had a great teacher. Whenever we read Huck Finn, because that's the one really.
That's what it
literally.
is.
Yeah,
Yes, that's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah, anytime he wouldn't make it. We would read out loud, but he wouldn't make us say it. So he would say it for us. He would just jump in and he'd throw it up.
Feels way worse, actually.
Yeah. So he's a great guy.
White guy.
Oh yeah. Good family man.
Where did you grow up? Kansas City, right? Yeah.
Dude, that was probably his favorite day of class, of teaching of the year. He's all excited. His wife's like, "Well, you got a little extra pep in your
Yeah,
step."
he would wear a tie for it. It was crazy.
He's like,
Huckleberry Finn Day.
Yeah. He would get his fruit smoothie and come to school. They're an hour early.
Dude, did you guys used to have to? This is something I think about all the time. Did you guys used to have to stand up and read?
What?
no.
Oh, our teacher used to make us like stand up or like walk to the class and like read in front of the class.
Oh, every once in a while.
Standing.
In front of
And
people.
I think about it all the time. Is like I think that should be illegal.
That's
for
humiliating.
like 6th, 7th, and 8th graders because you just have boners all the time.
You have boners, you're pissing your pants.
I used to
your
think
armpits.
I would be like, oh my god, it was my biggest fear is getting called on to stand up when I had a boner in
Yeah.
like a know nothing boner for
Right.
no reason.
Right. Yeah, we had a cool teacher. Whenever we would have boners, he would just take it for us. He would just rock his boner in front of the whole class.
He goes, "You think you're bad? Check this out."
Yeah.
This is
Great
fully
guy.
grown.
He really got us out of a lot of tight spots. Same guy.
Same guy.
Yeah.
Oh
Dude,
man.
I remember having to hear like teachers say things like when they were teaching in health class, they'd have to, like, I still laugh if somebody says boner, let alone when I was in like fucking 7th grade. And then I just remember we had this like real awkward swimming teacher, Mr. Trusky, and he's taking us around the like the changing rooms for swimming class. Did you guys have to do swimming class?
No.
no.
Couldn't afford
Dude,
it.
it's so weird. Like we were like every time I talk about it, people are like, "You took swimming in high school?"
Yeah, we didn't have a pool.
Fucking
Yeah, no
terrible.
pool.
And I was overweight. You know, running around there with little titties, and but I was a hell of a swimmer, and
Very buoyant.
What an
yeah,
athlete.
I just
Very buoyant.
Yeah,
okay,
dude.
we're gonna need you to do a stroke and stop floating. But Mr. Trusky, I remember him showing us around like the first day, and he's just like screaming at us. He's like, "And if you don't feel like changing in front of each other, I guess you could just wear a towel and change underneath." But back in my day, we didn't care about seeing each other's penises.
Why are they? They're all like that. My gym teacher was the same way. He's like, if you're gonna be shy about pulling your cock out in front of all your friends, why don't you go to little girlie's room? It's like he wanted to see him. You know?
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Yeah, my teacher was like that too, and that was art.
I did have a.
No one wants to take their penis out.
We had like a sex ed class or whatever in like 7th grade. You know, like the first or whatever 5th grade is, like the first one you ever do of just like, hey, by the way, men and women have like reproductive organs.
They
This is what
separate
look
you?
like. No, I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they did. I don't remember. But I do remember that like they would, because they taught like both boys and girls like the male and female reproductive system. But there is 2 girls that still fully believed that Santa Claus was real. And they learned about like the testic, like everything. So if anything, they just walked away from that knowing more about Santa Claus. They just knew how his cock worked.
I went to Catholic school, so our sex ed class was it was combined with our driver's ed class, and that was
Roadhead.
We did like one day of sex ed, and they were like, "All right, now we're driving." That was it.
Like, welcome to. So, by the way, this class rocks.
They were like,
We're gonna drive cars.
"No sex, let's get in the car."
we're gonna get laid.
It's the most bro class ever.
Yeah, cars and sex. Did you get into cars and sex this year? No, man, I'm on the wait list.
No, I'm in
Vin
fucking-
Diesel comes out. He's the instructor.
I'm in
that.
American literature again.
Joe, have you ever killed anybody?
Have I ever killed anybody?
Yeah, just a standard question.
No. I've had nightmares about it, I think.
Really?
Yeah. Maybe.
Okay.
I don't know. Of dying and killing and dying.
I had a dream. I had a dream like 2 years ago where I like killed someone in my dream, and it was an intense dream, dude.
How'd you kill him?
It was I don't even remember now, but I thought about it for like weeks, and I was like, yeah, you know,
whenever I die in a dream, I wake up right away, you know? But whenever I kill somebody in a dream, I stay in it.
Yeah,
this
you're
is
like,
nice.
Oh, that felt nice.
Yeah.
That felt
I'm
good.
not waking up for a while.
Dude, I don't know if I've ever died in a dream.
Really? Happens to
Oh,
me like
yeah, I
every
have.
night. Every night. I fall off a cliff, something like that. You never had like fall off a cliff and you wake
yeah.
up?
Oh, I have that
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
But I never fall. I never hit. You know.
I used
That's
to have
actually
these,
true, yeah.
You ever have like drunk driving nightmares?
Those are called Ray's reality.
Yeah, I've had just some regular drunk.
What are we talking
Yeah.
about?
Oh, believe me, I grew up in Kansas, so it was,
See, that's what I'm saying. So, like, you grew up in a place where, like, it's kind of legal, especially when the
Yes.
Chiefs are playing.
oh, mandated. Yeah, yeah,
See?
absolutely.
Were you a big drunk driver? Drinking and driving?
I mean, I'm big. I wasn't like into it. I wasn't like you got actually.
You didn't do it competitively.
Yeah. Well, when I was like when I was in high school, I definitely definitely did it way too much. And I mean, you know, you're like 16, you don't know what you're doing. I went to a party with like 4 friends, and we all drove separately, got blackout, and drove home. We didn't even think to carpool. Yeah,
Just
we
a
didn't even,
demolition derby in the driveway.
no one even thought to carpool.
Now listen, Joe, if you're going to drive drunk, I don't want you being in someone else's car. I want you behind the wheel.
Yeah. When you got to start dropping people off, that's when accidents happen.
Yeah, exactly. You're extending the journey.
No stops, dude. My brother tells this story that he went and met my dad at the bar when he was like 18, and they got like fucking sauce together. Right?
This is such a Pittsburgh.
They
story.
get they get
Truly the
hammered.
Kansas City of Pennsylvania.
Oh, it really is,
Yeah.
dude. They get hammered drunk, and they get out to the car, and my dad goes to the passenger seat. My brother's like, "What the fuck you doing?" My dad's like, "I can't drive. I'm hammered." And my brother's like, "Yeah, me too." And I'm 18. And then my dad goes, "Yeah, but I already got a DUI, so you're gonna have to go." So yo, they start driving. They're pulling out of the driveway. My dad notices that his buddy is like walking on the street, like from the bar that they were just hanging out with, and he was like, "Hey, Ed." And he's like, "What? You ain't walking home, are you?" And he was like, "Yeah, I am." And then he was like, "Nah, we'll give you a ride." So then he just added a stop for my hammered 18-year-old brother
Oh my
to
God.
drop this guy off.
What,
And
what are you walking home for?
It's like, we got 4 wheels right here.
I asked
drunk
my
to
brother,
walk.
I was like, "Oh, was he like on the way?" He was like, "No, he lived in a different neighborhood."
Dude.
My dad would, it sounds like we had the same dad. My dad would drive with a can of, he wouldn't drink and drive, he would drink while driving. Like he'd have a can
Yes,
of beer
yeah.
in the truck, you know what I mean? Like 2 in the console right there.
Dude.
Locked and loaded.
when I was learning how to drive, because my dad lived in Kentucky like a good majority of my life, but I was learning from my mom, and she was like fucking like hitting a brake on the passenger side, and she was like super scared. The one time my dad comes in while I'm driving with him, he was like, "Oh, you got your permit?" He's like, "All right, I'll sit in the passenger seat, dude." And he's smoking a cig and drinking a beer in the passenger seat,
Yeah.
just talking about how cool this is, not even paying attention to the road. He's like, "Dude, you fucking should have done this years ago. This is great."
Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
That's so Pittsburgh, dude.
Yeah.
You're a returning guest, I should say. First with Ray, but
I mean,
return.
Yeah. I
the
mean,
return,
it's
dude.
no small thing. I mean, they talk about the 5 Timers Club at SNL. but
Yeah.
I think
I'm
there's
well on my
only.
way.
I think we only have 1 or 2 guests that have hit the 5 Timers Club so
That's-
far.
Okay, I'm on my way. So I'm coming.
Yeah,
You're
dude,
close.
You're coming.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Look out.
We're actually going to split this episode into
To 5
fours.
parts.
So it's you've been the 5 times.
Dude, once you're there, we get you a jacket. It's
Oh, that's
a pretty
that
big
sounds
deal.
really nice.
Pretty big deal.
And you have to fuck Dylan.
Oh, no.
Whoa.
Not that.
Dude, that was super rude. What do you mean? What do you mean, whoa?
Yeah, dude. Dom Leonelli did it.
damn it.
Yeah. Yep, part of the 5-time Big T. That was a tough one for both of us.
Can I choose which one I want?
I mean, dude, he's just trying to hurt my feelings.
Dylan gets so mad. He's like, "How come you never book women 5 times?" I'm like, "I don't care, dude."
You book him, he fucks him.
All our lady guests are one and done.
Yeah, they're like, sorry, I can't make it back.
I can't do it. 5 times? No way.
I think I got the idea last time.
Yeah, they're all like, we're good.
The 100 bros from Dylan's driving and chicks class.
Dude, I looked at my the analytics for my Instagram followers for the first time ever the other day, and it's like 86% men.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I was like,
Dude, I would love to see Matt Rife's Instagram analytics.
oh, it's the
It's probably
exact
95%, women. Just hot women.
I think it's a cool 100.
I always run into the thing when I'm doing a show. like the dudes that like me the most is like 26-year-old backwards hat dude, and I'm like, man,
Those are your people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
dude, it's all of us. It's all the dudes that like me are dudes like me who just didn't do stand up. That's
Yeah,
it.
100%.
It's like all these guys who are just like, I've always thought about doing it, but
You never know who
did.
your people are going to be, right? So I've heard people say that, like guys who go on to get like a following and stuff. They're like, man, I had no idea that was my that was my group.
It's so funny. You know who I do really well with though? In like live stand-up shows is like women in their like late 20s, early 30s, and then women in their like 40s and 50s.
So women, you
Yeah.
just listed every every age of women.
Yeah, women in
women
their,
between like 18 and 30, and then women between like 31. You know what's weird is I don't do well with 37-year-old women. That's about it.
It is a black hole.
Dude,
Yeah.
well, here's the thing. Here's how when I found out. I did this like country club show in Massachusetts once, and I was hosting.
Brag much.
Yeah, I know. Whew.
Yeah.
Look out.
some of us
Paid
haven't
me
got to do
$50
that yet.
and I had to drive 2.5 hours for it. So big winner here. Okay. I hosted and like had just it was women and men, like couples in their 50s to 60s, right? And I had a great set and I did time in between the headliner wanted me to do. And when I got off stage the first time, he was like, holy shit. He's like, I've never seen women react to a comic the way they just reacted to your set. Like these women in their 50s and 60s loved you. So, dude, they were throwing their panties. It was wild.
What? They're
dude.
throwing their panties?
Yeah, it was crazy. No.
I think that. This is a
I'd
country
see-
club.
Yeah, it was at a country club. All the women like loved me, and all the men, all their husbands, just sat there like this,
Dude, I have a wild,
just
country
so
club
disappointed.
comedy story.
Yeah, let's hear it.
Yeah, when I was like 8 months into maybe like a year into stand up, this weird guy who like moved to town from like Minneapolis, who was like in his 50s or something,
Yeah.
started booking comedy shows, and he was very strange. And he would just book these country club comedy shows, and he would started booking these comics. We were all like in our early 20s. I was like 21 or whatever, and he books a handful of us. We go out to this, golf club or whatever, this big room with like 100 or so audience members are all like age 60, 65, 70.
They're good crowds.
And they were ready for a show, and the first guy that goes up is this old buddy of mine, Colby Cusick, who's a Kansas City comedian, and his whole shtick is that he screams at the top of his lungs without taking. It's like Sam Kinison, but without ever going down. It just stays up, and then all of his bits are about like half guys, and like not like guys who are like missing their legs, like half guys. And he's like,
I thought we were talking trans for a second. I was like,
no, yeah. So he opens up with this bit
don't
about
know.
half guys, about how he used to jump over a half guy in high school, and he's screaming it at them. And like, I swear to God, 2 minutes into his set, the one young guy in the audience, like a military guy, stands up and he goes, I think I speak for everybody in this room when we say we want that guy off the stage. Standing ovation. Everybody,
oh my God.
all the old guys stood up and clapped. And then they walked Colby off the stage, and then the weird booker guy goes up and he goes, okay, we're going to keep this thing going. Your next comic, young man, very funny, Joe Nunnink.
And then you got up there and did all jokes about just a bottom half guy.
yeah. I lasted like 4 minutes. We walked the entire club. They refused to pay us. It was insane.
Wow, dude.
They fed us a cold meal, and we were told never to return.
Was anybody enjoying it when you were up there?
There actually was like one table of these Australian ladies who were in your alley.
Right in my demo.
Yeah, right in your demo. Who were having a great time. They're on like their 9th glass of wine, and they were like laughing at how much of a
Train show.
wreck.
yeah, they weren't laughing like at the bits. They were just like, this is hilarious.
I mean,
insane.
Oh, yeah, this is crazy.
You could be the funniest comic in the world, which you are, Joe. And
Thank you.
wow. And they following the fucking
No.
the guy with the pitchfork finding Frankenstein guy.
There's no chance. There's
I
literally
mean, the
no
fact
chance.
that he was a veteran makes it so much worse.
Oh, yeah.
It's
He
just-
was like the golden boy
Oh,
of
my
the country
God.
club.
Ugh. What a nightmare, huh?
That's
I mean,
so
it would have
awesome.
the only thing that would made it better is if he also didn't have legs and he just stood up and was like, I lost my legs for this goddamn country.
It was like something from like a 1930s town hall meeting. I've never seen one guy stand up and corral 100 people instantly.
Jesus.
I'd vote for him for president.
I think
honestly.
I speak for everyone in this room. They're like, yeah, Johnny. I was like, whoa.
That's so good,
dude.
Holy shit.
Was your boy pretty phased by it? The one that was the screamer?
Yeah, I mean, he was like beat red, but he couldn't stop laughing. That was the funniest thing that
Yeah.
happened. You know?
Nightmare. That's
Yeah.
a good story, though.
It's want to say it's a
He
nightmare,
has.
but it's hilarious.
Yeah. Is he still doing stand-up?
Not as much. No.
Yeah, that's fair.
Actually,
that's
last
Lost
time.
his voice.
Yeah, yeah.
We had I've done a show that got canceled like mid show at a strip club in Pittsburgh. It was like a you know those usually successful Monday night strip club shows in Pittsburgh. But I was there with Colin, and me and him were like I think the last two comics on the show, and we go there and like we're drinking a free drink, and they had one rule. Don't talk to the patrons, like the few patrons. And if you do talk to the few patrons,
man.
definitely don't distract them from what they're doing, the way that these women are all making money.
Yeah.
And literally the first two comics just go up there like,
So look at this guy.
damn, bro, you need pussy that bad? And it's like, what are you doing? How much you paying for her to sit on your lap like that? I'm like, what is going on?
The guy just immediately slams his beer bottle on the counter.
Yeah, dude.
These guys have no patience for that.
Just fucking immediately, bro.
It's a guy, all he has in the world is Destiny dancing right up there on the stage.
It's Monday night at a strip club.
Yeah,
These
that's
people are volatile.
Not to mention nobody.
Also, who's doing a show and then it's like we should also do stand up? Like, who's doing a strip show and it should be
It's
an
not
off
enough.
night? It'd be like, hey, the strippers have unionized, they're on strike. I guess let's bring some stand up in, maybe. Like,
I did another one and we went on after like the girl dancing. And then I just go up and it's like, nobody wants to see me do jokes.
No,
you
dude,
know?
you're the
yeah,
opposite
they want
of
to
what
see
they
you take your
just saw.
they want to see you take your shirt off.
The exact opposite.
I start talking about sex. They're like, nah. We don't want to hear about it. You know,
From you.
We want to see it a little more, dude. There was
from you
a,
who may or may not have done it before. you know?
yeah, get off the stage, virgin.
So we're going to bring up a really sexy lady, and then we're going to bring up somebody who's going to take all that sex right out of the air. We're going to kind of waffle back and forth doing that for the rest of the night.
We're gonna alternate. One and
they
one.
did do it.
This is the Monday night special.
You watch 7 minutes of this, and then you get 3 minutes of that.
It was dancer, comic.
That's
dancer.
awful, dude. Honestly, though, if someone pitched me that, I would be like, that's a pretty great idea. And then you put it in practice, you're like, this is horrible, actually. Yeah, this is terrible. There was a comic, dude, this is one of the funniest stories I've ever heard. I wasn't there. It's almost like, so starting in Boston, there are all these comics that are older who like didn't move to New York. And one of them is like a legend in Boston. Tom Dustin. Do you guys know him? I'll say his name. He lives in Key West now.
Tom, you don't know?
He runs the Key
sorry.
Key West Comedy Club.
The legend,
Dude,
Tom Dustin.
he is like a Boston
T-Dust.
dude. He one of the funniest dudes, Boston legend, nicest guy. And there's a story about him. I don't even know if it's true at this point because it's just like urban legend where him and three other guys, whatever, comics, they do this benefit show for a sexual assault survivors like women's group. Knowing like these guys, it's like the worst group of guys you can get to do this. Okay. So they're getting ready to do the show. And before the show starts, they have like a dinner. And then they had this thing that they did. They had this like a patchwork quilt that they hung in the back of the room. Okay. Yeah. Where like everyone wrote their like moving like, you know, messages and stories and all this stuff. And then they like knitted it together, quilted it together, whatever. Hung it up. So it's like this community coming together and all the, you know, the stories are right there for everyone to see. Tom Dustin, apparently, first one on the stage. He gets on stage and he goes, looks at it and he goes, apparently, if you get raped enough, they retire your jersey.
Oh, man.
Dude. Cut the mic, ended the show. One sentence in, they were like, no more comedy. No more comedy.
He knew he knew that was going to be shown.
Yes.
Like, just the funniest dude. And that story is legend.
Wow.
Well, yeah,
and you don't even know if it's true.
I mean,
It's a terrible thing
been,
to say about a guy.
It's been told to me multiple times. I mean, he's great. He's one of the funniest
The
comics
legend Tim Dustin.
alive.
He's the legend, dude.
Timmy D.
He's got one of the greatest rape jokes of all time.
Maybe I'll take his name. Maybe I'll take his name out. Who knows?
You don't know him?
No, I know him.
Rape joke.
You got him.
He's a legend, dude.
He's great, man. He's great.
One time I got shoved by Andrew Dice Clay's security detail.
Sick, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of the worst nights of my life.
Were you doing stand-up already?
Yeah. This was actually like 5 years ago. I was in Kansas City. I thought about quitting stand-up this night. I had friends who weren't comics who were like having the best night of their life and wanted me to come out. And I was like, I can't. I got 2 shows tonight. One's like a 30-minute drive outside of Kansas City in this college town, Lawrence, Kansas. And I go and I do this show, I swear to God, in front of a pillar. Like, it was just they staged me in front of a pillar with like 6 people 20 yards away.
Nice.
Bomb for 20 minutes. Drive to do a late spot at the comedy club in Kansas City after the Andrew Dice Clay show. So Andrew Dice Clay sells out the club, 300 people, and then at 11 p.m. or whatever, they're going to have like a best of local showcase, and I'm supposed to host it. So I get there, and there's like 6 people in that audience too, and like a 300-seater club. But you walk up to the stage, there's like a ramp, and right by where the ramp starts, there's the door to the green room. And now Andrew Dice Clay's in the green room, and a security guy is standing outside, he's like a big fucking guy. He's standing outside the green room. Yeah. And he's kind of blocking the ramp to the stage. So I'm about to go up to host the show. So I start trying to walk to the ramp, and he goes, first he just puts his arm out and he goes, hey, not any closer. And I go, I gotta host the late show. He doesn't even like hear me. He just looks off like this. And then like the lights dim, the music starts playing. I try to walk again, and then he just shoves me. And then they go, make some noise for your host, Joe Nunnink. Right after Andrew Dice Clay's security guard shoves me, and he goes, oh, my bad.
Oh my God.
Moves out of the way. I get, and it wasn't like like me shoving you. I mean, this guy was like, 6'8", like
just a big ass.
Yeah, he was like a huge guy.
He an older dude?
Probably. Yeah, he was.
You know who he is?
Well, his security guard is like famous. Like,
really?
Yeah, Club Soda Kenny.
Maybe it was Club Soda Kenny. I don't know.
Semi-famous.
I'm gonna look him up.
If you show me a picture of him, I might be able to remember.
So your set went pretty good,
dude. It was horrific.
Did you go out? I would have went out.
I
and
had
been
lost all morale. I think I tried to riff about it, and no one, they didn't care. And then
my
friend, but click on one of the pictures. There's, I don't know if I'll be able to remember.
You just showed him like 50 thumbnails.
Yeah, I know. Well, relax.
Yeah, I told you though. He is a famous guy. Now you
gotta log into Pinterest now.
Yeah, is that him? Maybe
on the left.
Yeah,
I don't.
No, yeah, the one that's not Andrew Dice Clay.
I think it's a better story if I say that it is.
Okay.
So
hey, was it him?
It was, yeah.
Oh
it
shit!
Was, you know what? It was him.
And then I kicked his ass.
Yeah, and then Ray Dylan, I kicked his ass.
Oh shit!
Maybe this guy. This guy.
Oh, you keep pulling up the smallest.
Yeah, dude. Just these tiny little thumbnails.
What's his name? What's the guy's name?
Club Soda Kenny.
Club Soda Kenny.
Why is he famous? What's the story on him?
I mean, he's like beloved by like a lot of like
your boy,
comics
your
from
boy
back
popping
in the
up.
day. Yeah, but that's my buddy Joe Bartnick's real cool with him.
Let me see if I can pull. I'm trying to pull up a picture.
Yeah,
dude, this might. Wait, this guy?
Yeah. Was that him?
Yeah, that might have been him.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, actually, that might have been him.
Pushed by Club Soda Kenny.
Damn, dude, here he is with Daniel Craig.
Yes, he's a big dude.
Yeah, that actually, I think that might have. Yeah, that might have been him.
Damn.
Club Soda Kenny pushed me, man.
What's the? Was that the closest you may have ever been to quitting comedy in the last like?
No.
For anyone listening and not in the room with us right now, Club Soda Kenny, if you don't know what he looks like, tall, Italian-looking guy, white with a mustache. Not at all how I pictured him when you first told the story.
But also, come to think of it, that's probably what any number of Andrew Dice Clay's security decals could look like.
Yeah.
So it's not like that's like really unique to like. It definitely was all of those things. But
I was definitely not picturing a white guy.
Yeah, it was a white guy.
Are you like a fighter though, Joe? You fight somebody?
No.
I think, the last time you were on, you told the story about the closest you got to a fight with pushing that security guard.
Cop tipping.
Yeah. That was good.
I'm like,
you can retell it. That was
I didn't hear it.
70 episodes ago.
Yeah, it's a classic tale.
Yeah,
I don't know the story.
This is my freshman year in college. I went to this liberal arts school in Arkansas.
Yeah.
I only went there for a year, but anyway, one weekend my brother came down to visit, and we get like hammered, and we go to this dance party that the school sponsored. and there's like this big dance party, and we're really drunk, and they have a security guy there, you know, in a fold-out chair. We think he's a security guy. He's actually the sheriff of the county. Okay, so my brother's like gone, and he has this antenna from a car that he's like switching around. He took off of a car, and he's like spanking people with it. Like he's just like wasted. And we like come up with this drunk antic where we're like, all right, what if, because big fat security guy, sheriff of the county, leaning back in the fold-out chair, and he's leaning back, you know how people do in a fold-out chair sometime? We're like, how funny would it be if one of us pulled the chair down and knocked him over, and then we ran away. And so I filmed it on my brother's phone. I wish I still had the footage somewhere.
Oh, it'd be so good.
And I held the phone, and my brother snuck up from behind him, pulled the fold-out chair down on the ground. The guy collapsed, and we ran away. And he chased after us. And there's like this bridge back to campus. We run, and we're making good ground because we're like 19 or whatever. And this is like a pretty fat, like 49-year-old guy.
Yeah.
And so we could have gotten away with it, but we decided to like hide behind this building to watch him run because it was funny. And so we kind of lose him at some point, and we're like, well, I don't know where he went. And he took this like sneak route and came out of nowhere and like leapt at us, and we like slid out from under him in the nick of time, and he like hit his knee and like hurt his knee, and he was like, oh, my knee. And then at that point we like run off campus.
My God.
We run off campus because we're like terrified, and then we're like, oh shit. And we start hearing like police sirens and stuff, and we're just running down all these city blocks in this town. And then finally, like, I swear to God, 13 cop cars like roll up on us. And it was the most action this town had ever seen. And they were like, get on the ground or we'll tase you. And I was like, don't tase me, bro. And we like jump on the ground. And yeah, and then we found out it was the sheriff of the county that we knocked over, not security guard. And we had to drive back to the jail in the back of his car. The guy that we knocked over, we had to sit in the back of his car after humiliating him. Was
he mad?
Oh, he was so mad. He was just chewing us out, and I don't think we were giving him the response that he wanted. So,
What were you saying?
I don't know, but at one point I remember going from like drunk or whatever and like bummed to like scared because he said, and I quote, like, why don't, like, if you guys think it's funny, why don't I pull off on the side of the road and show you how we do it down here in Arkansas? And I was like, yikes, I don't know what that means. But it sounds a lot like my asshole is going to get destroyed.
It's like, we got a broom in the trunk. Look out.
Yeah, so we immediately start apologizing profusely, and we're like, we're so sorry, blah, blah. But, yeah, they were really pissed. They threw my brother's phone away. They were especially mad at my brother because he's the one that did it.
Yeah.
And when they put him in the cop car, they like slammed the door onto his body, and they were like, why are you resisting, whatever. They really manhandled him. And then I think they broke his phone or something. They never got his phone back. But
did you get in
Classic
trouble? Like at all?
police
Like did you ever
officers.
pay a fine or anything?
yeah, man, I got public intox and fleeing the scene of a crime. And
you were underage too.
Yeah, for some reason, but I didn't have any alcohol on me or whatever.
Yeah.
And then my brother got a lot of it dropped, but originally they had charged him with like assaulting an officer.
Oh, dude.
But they luckily got it all dropped down to like public intox. But I still had this fleeing the scene of a crime record on my record for 5-6 years. So after college, I went to work at like a bank. And they were like, okay, everything looks good. And like, but there's something we need to ask you about. You have a fleeing a crime charge.
Did you tell the story?
Yeah, but I really tried to sugarcoat it. And there's almost no way to do that.
I would love it if you were just
dude.
we thought he was a security guard. Are we good? Is that all?
Yeah, I thought that was a public safety guy.
Yeah. Hey, I thought it was just a regular guy trying to do his job.
She goes, let me see. It says, fleeing the scene of a crime. Let me guess. Your brother came to town. The sheriff of the county is leaning back in a chair. You thought you'd go cop tipping.
I love the idea. I love the idea that she.
If I was interviewing someone and they told me that story, I would be like, "You're hired. You're hired immediately." I love it.
Yeah.
And if I'm not mistaken, he probably almost got away. And then he took the old Arkansas back route and got
Yeah.
Yeah.
Probably bled his knee, and that's when the whole the whole squad rolled.
Same thing happened to Mitch in accounting. You'll meet him soon. You know.
That's why you can't move up the corporate ladder.
Oh, Jesus, dude.
Did you get the job at the bank?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
They liked you.
Good.
That's
I
all
was-
that matters.
Yeah, I was terrible at the job though, but I got it.
What did you do? Customer service?
I was like a teller at a bank.
Yeah. You got a good like customer service voice. I feel like you'd be pretty soothing.
Yeah, I
You
think
got,
so. I think I could be like a phone something or other operator of some kind.
Yeah. Well, you wouldn't be the guy writing the script because you just said it'd be a phone something or other or something.
I'd have to give you the script.
You need the script in front of you.
Yeah.
Hello.
Fuck. I used to work customer service for a health insurance company, like over the phone. Fucking worst job maybe the worst job I've ever had. I
sounds
did
like
it
Portrait of health over here.
I did it for like, I'm not. It's health insurance. I'm not giving fucking health advice. And motherfucker,
Actually, who's more qualified to know about health insurance
than a guy using it a lot?
than a guy who desperately needs it?
Dude, it was the fucking people were so mean to me. But I remember.
Were you cold calling them, trying to sell them insurance?
No, I was like the guy. Like when their claims were fucked up, they called me, which I think is worse.
Yeah, it's way worse.
That's for sure worse.
And I remember the first call that I took, like I'm like with a person like monitoring me. First call that I took, I might have told you this, is it was a guy trying to get his testosterone. He wanted to get his testosterone medication, and I don't think he needed it. He was so aggressive, and he's like yelling at me. I must have been like the third person I talked to. He was like, I need my fucking prescription. And I was like, all right, dude. I was like, listen, I'm going to help you. I'm going to do this, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, just get me my prescription, you faggot. And he calls me,
Whoa.
Yeah, just
Bleep it. We can.
I don't like men no more.
yeah, we can bleep it. But he calls me like a hard, and I'm like,
Yikes.
and I started laughing.
Right, because it's very funny.
And it's my first day, and the girl next to me that's like listening on the other thing is like mortified, and he's like, "What? What the fuck is so funny?" I was like, "Sir, I was like, this is like my first day."
Yeah.
And you just called me that. I did not. This is my first call I picked up, and he's like, huh,
You're going to get that a
man.
lot.
I guess people don't really say that anymore, man. I'm sorry. That was dude, and he like completely switched his tone.
Wow.
And he's like, yeah, if you can just look into that for me and give me a call back.
And if he had the testosterone medication, he wouldn't have switched back. He
Yeah.
would have stayed jacked.
Dude, that's crazy.
I was like fucking like, I was like, okay, this is how I stayed there for 5 years.
So I have an F-word story that happened recently.
Yeah, give it
It
to me.
is wild. So I live in this apartment over in Sunnyside.
Nice.
And I ordered some like furniture. I had all these big boxes come like a few weeks ago, and they're in the lobby. And I look at my name. I'm like, okay. So I start dragging all these boxes in. I start opening them up, and then I open one. And I look in it, and it's like a cat tower. And I'm like, I didn't order this. And then I look at the thing, and I'm like, oh, it's not my address. Somebody else in the apartment. I accidentally grabbed somebody else's package, brought it in. And so I put it back in the hallway, and I left a note. I said, sorry, accidentally opened your package by mistake.
Yeah.
Apartment 5G. So a week later, just a couple days ago, somebody slides a note under the door of my apartment at night. And I see it the next morning, and it says, to the fags in 5G.
Oh. Whoa.
To the F words.
I mean, you already said it.
Yeah.
fact-
Well, we can bleep all of our
be a lot
F
of
words if
them
you
now.
want.
I'm not gay no more. I am delivered.
So he says that. He says, to the fags in 5G, see how easy it is not to open a package that doesn't have your name on it. Read
Wow.
next time, apartment G41.
Wow.
Jesus
psychotic?
Christ.
That is a lunatic.
Yeah, man.
Also, I mean, you didn't want to just bring it up and knock on the door and be
Yeah.
like, so sorry. You just put it back down in the...
yeah.
I would
like-
bring it up to the door.
I like
Be
this.
Hey, sorry, dude.
I like that this cat guy's calling you.
No, he's the one who ordered a cat tower.
Yeah, okay, dude.
I would write him back and be like, I'm sorry I opened your extremely straight package. Yeah. Cat tower. Sincerely, fags in 5G.
Also, dude, like,
That's wild.
Isn't that wild,
like
dude?
what if you like?
Could be a hate crime.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, if you were just
Yeah.
a gay dude, that's
I live with two other guys, and there's a good chance at least one of us is gay. We don't know yet.
Well, you know, 2 of them sleep in the same bed, but we're still not sure.
But yeah, it's crazy. Also, you just, regardless of it being like a hate crime, you don't know who lives in the apartment. Someone could be a real hot.
Yes.
Like you could set somebody
Yeah,
up. Man, it's
dude.
crazy.
Could be that guy that didn't get his testosterone that was
Yeah,
calling
exactly.
it.
Yeah, also he puts that, like, his apartment number, be like, come talk to me if you have a
Yeah, pretty
problem.
much.
Well, there's
basically.
there's 2 things that could be at play here. One, he fucking wants some dude. He's looking for a brawl. He wants.
Yeah,
to
no, I think he
fucking-
does want to fight.
He
No,
wants
yeah,
the
no, I don't
action.
think he wants to fuck. He wants to
fight.
fight one of you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, come up here. I'll fight. I'll
He
fight
wants
all
us
of
to
you.
retaliate.
Yeah.
Or
should.
Or 2, not his apartment number.
Oh, that's
Might
true.
be somebody else's. He might be sent. He might
But
just
then
be
he's
starting a
really
war.
stirring the pot.
Yeah, he might be starting a war.
You go up,
starting a civil war in the apartment.
Yeah.
you go up there and beat the shit out of a person in 41G, and they're like, wait, where's the cat tower? And
Yeah.
they're like, I don't even have a cat tower.
The same thing happened on season 26 of Survivor.
Yeah.
Where they,
Oh, yeah?
manipulate. I'll save it for my Survivor podcast. it's called Survivor. It's
That's
it's about the last 6 people that still watch the show.
Right. Is this a real thing?
No,
Dude, that's like 30 seasons in.
it's 46.
Is it still going?
It's like 47. I still watch it, kind of.
Do you really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't even know. I don't even get it.
I got into it during the pandemic.
That's
They should just have a guy living in a $2,000 a month apartment in Bushwick.
and
on the
film
next-
him.
Yeah,
Trying
just
to
film
make things
him.
work.
Yeah, he
That's Survivor.
barbacks 3 nights a week.
Yeah.
He does DoorDash.
dude. I would watch that. I
And
would
there-
watch that.
Hey, and he doesn't have any chance at $1 million. You know, he has no
Yeah,
chance
yeah.
at winning $1 million.
Right.
Yeah, it's not 6 weeks. It never ends.
Yeah, it never ends.
Dude, the bar backing is so. Just watching, I would watch that. Just a fucking dude bar backing.
That would be pretty funny. A reality TV show just about some guys in Brooklyn.
I bar backed in college, and I've told this before, but yeah, it was. I
that-
loved it.
Was that when you said that you bartended, and then I was like, "Wait, you bartended?" You're like, "Well, I was bar back."
Yeah, I bar backed. There was like 2 times where I
It's
did
like-
bartend.
It's like,
You know,
I'm not professor, I'm adjunct.
Yeah, I had sex with her. Well, we kissed.
we kissed.
Barbacks, I don't get it. They're like useless. No offense. Because,
No, they're not.
well, you clean everything. That's great. You keep the
Dude.
ship going. But I'm like, dude, just grab me a beer. Can you just grab me a beer? The bartender is
Yeah,
like
yeah.
serving 90 drinks to 90 people. You're just right here.
They refill, so you refill all the beers. So like they're constantly, you know.
It's like
I'll
refill
defend
one
my
into
people.
my hand, dude. Come on, just help me out.
Yeah, yeah.
You
Well-
should be on beers only, no mixed drinks. That's
I actually agree with that. yeah.
Here he goes.
I agree.
You know, Joe's an admitted beer addict. He's addicted to beer, so of course he's gonna be mean at somebody when he can't get his fix.
that is true.
Yeah, I can't believe are you still addicted to beer?
Well, it's a struggle, but
Yeah.
Oh, you're an admitted beer addict.
yeah.
beer
Well,
addict.
so some people,
I get it.
have like nicotine problems, which, by the way, I would love one of those.
want one?
Yeah, can I have one?
Yeah.
And some people
Should've asked
struggle,
earlier.
with alcohol. I don't really have that issue.
No.
I have a beer addiction that I have been working through.
I know this about you.
Yeah, yeah. So I really don't struggle with alcohol at all.
See, I can't relate. I'm an alcoholic,
But
I'm not.
yeah, exactly. But
Sponsor
beer,
of the pod.
beer's just, it rocks, man. It's like I could just have a million of those things.
I've seen you have $1 million.
They're
Yeah.
hey, those are 6 milligrams, by the way. You know that.
Okay, so I'm about to throw up.
That'll be the best way to end a podcast.
I mean,
ever.
I've done 3 in 45 minutes. You know, because I'm badass. But
I've done that too, and almost did throw up. When I
Really?
was drinking. Yeah, I kept putting them in my mouth.
yeah, dude, it's like gum. I just keep throwing them in.
Right, 'cause I'm trying not to smoke, so I'll just use those things.
Oh, got it. Let's go. You've been a smoker.
I smoked for like 10 years.
Damn.
Half a pack a day.
Wow, dude.
smoking cigarettes is fucking cool.
It's cool, but it really rips you up after a while.
Yeah.
You're not supposed to keep doing it.
You know what's crazy? I heard.
Dude, I was a non-smoker that got into the vaping, and I was hard vape. I used to do them during the pod. Ray would get furious.
I haven't done the vape because I know I'll just be on that forever.
Dude, I would wake up and do it. The first thing I would think about would be like
yeah.
ripping a little blueberry, grape ice, then a drink of water.
I was never good at smoking cigarettes. I just never liked it,
Yeah.
and I never got into it, or but when you see somebody fucking enjoying a cig, it looks
When you see
good.
someone enjoying one, it's
Yeah.
amazing.
like those Ben Affleck pictures
Yeah,
of him.
well, he looks pretty miserable with the cigarettes. He
Oh,
looks like,
yeah.
But
he's
it
just,
looks- but it
standing
looks
outside of
like-
a Dunkin', like, fuck my life.
His face always looks just
It does look like his only
Melting.
respite.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's his-
It's the only thing keeping them together. Most cigarettes aren't enjoyable, but 1 out of like 100 will be like
Wow.
the best, thing ever.
Yeah.
And you'll be like, wow.
Now when I see it on TV, if I'm watching something, a movie, they're smoking a cigarette, I'm like, where are those Zins, dude? I need a Zin.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird when somebody smells like cigarettes. I remember
Oh,
everybody in my family used to just smell like
I hate
cigarettes.
that,
Every
dude.
bar you
Yeah.
went into smelled like
Awful.
cigarettes, and now like it's like jarring when somebody like rolls up on you. You're like, God, damn, you still smell.
Dude, you know me. As much as I don't like the government putting like things on us, being
Here
like,
we
you
go.
can't do this, you got to do this. One thing they did that I do like is that you can't smoke in bars. I do
Yeah.
dig that. Every now and then, if you found a bar, like a bar that you can smoke a cigarette in, I'd be into it. But my cousin was saying right before I went to college, they stopped in New York. You can't smoke in bars anymore. And she was like, for like 3 years when I was going to school, you could smoke in bars. Dude, you would go out, you wouldn't even smoke. You'd have to throw like all your clothes in the wash. Jackets,
It's disgusting.
everything.
Even when I was a smoker and I'd go to like some place in the South where you could still smoke in the bar, I'd be like, this is fucking gross. You guys want to stand outside and then go back?
Smoking, no smoking section.
See,
you know?
I'm a little different when it comes to that. I like when you could smoke cigs in a bar, and I don't even smoke cigarettes. I like the idea of a fucking place where just maximum sin is happening.
That's true.
Do you know what I mean?
Aesthetically, it is cool. The smell is the only problem.
Also, no one listening to the podcast is, is surprised, Ray, that you like smoking in bars.
Well, I mean, and so every once in a while, I'll fire up a cig if I'm at one of those bars. But like
I would.
I think you should be allowed to just like do whatever behind those doors, besides like fucking murder.
Well, depends on the bar for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. How about this? You ever have like an apartment that you smoked in?
No.
Dude, I did once and it fucking rocked. It fucking rocked, dude. I was going through. That was the most I ever smoked. I was like 21. I smoked like a full pack a day because I would it'd be like the dead of winter. I was lighting them up every 45 minutes. in my apartment.
God.
It was awful.
Oh, dude.
I'd smoke them in bed.
Oh.
After, if I had sex, if I managed to get somebody after, there's nothing better than one after sex in the bed. It's like the coolest thing ever.
I thought that was only in the movies.
Yeah,
That's
me
pretty
too.
cool.
It's your own world. You can make it whatever you want.
I will say that is kind of cool.
It
That
was
is
cool.
something that,
it was the most disgusting apartment imaginable.
Oh, dude.
We also didn't know how to clean up after ourselves. We were like 20, 21.
Yeah, smoking
also did sick
inside.
with the sex, dude.
Yeah, it was like twice in that year.
Oh, in that year,
both
dude?
times.
Did-
I was like,
oh.
dude, do you mind if I spark up?
You
It was
did.
right after.
You're like, I'm
Yeah.
going to go.
That was the double year. You did a double that year?
Yeah, dude. I did.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Twice in 1 year?
absolutely.
Whew,
There's
look
something
out.
funny about like coming in 4 minutes and then lighting up a cigarette, you know? You mind if I smoke in here, babe? She didn't come at all. You know? You want one? she's like you don't want one?
So we're done? Okay. Great.
It's like putting up blinds and be like, I need a beer after that, man. That's a hard day's work I just put in.
It's just the most unearned cigarette of all time.
Woo!
Lighting your sheets on fire.
Okay, I guess I'll get dressed, and get a taxi.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna get a cab. I'm like, yeah, I wish you could stay over, babe.
Scott.
I think that I think she wants to stay.
I got a big day
Yeah,
tomorrow.
no, like I'd love to have you stay. But she's like, no, it's fine. I'm good.
She's like, that was only 4 minutes. You're like, yeah, but I also did this about 3 months ago.
Yeah,
Really
but
takes a lot out of
this
me.
has been like a double year for me. So
It's a lot of residue from the last time. A lot of residual.
Oh god,
wow, man, wild times.
dude, have you ever seen those shows where they go in hoarders' houses and they clean? Have you seen the ones where they
Dude,
like
my brother like does that for a living.
really?
Yeah.
Like clean the smoke, like a smoker's house, dude, where the walls are like yellow and then they clean it and it's just like years of smoke.
Yeah.
Your brother does that though?
Well, not quite that, but he works for Got Junk. You know Got Junk.
Oh yeah.
He's like the regional manager in Kansas City. But when he started out, he was on like the trucks and stuff.
Yeah.
So they would go in and like 1 out of 5 of those is like someone's like getting rid of their hoarder relatives, all their shit.
God damn.
And so they have to go in and take everything. And it's fine when the hoarder's not there, but sometimes they are there. And so they'll know it's going to happen, but then when everyone gets there, they're like, don't touch that. But maybe there's something in this room you can take. And then they're like, no, don't touch it.
Oh, that's my candy wrapper collection.
Wait, that's every copy of the Kansas City Star from 1977 to 2009. That can't move.
Oh man. Yeah, I have a neighbor who's a bit of a hoarder. I was friends with his son growing up, and apparently quite a hoarder. But they've relegated it down to the basement. Apparently, I don't know.
Yeah,
never was allowed down there.
Yeah. My brother has this crazy story. He went to this one house one time. This like grandma lady called to have him get rid of her grandson's shit in the basement.
Yeah,
and my brother and his crew show up. And they go in the basement, and this kid, whoever lives with his grandma, has like all these Tesla coils, like
whoa,
Tesla coil and weed plants everywhere.
Oh,
So there's nothing but weed plants and Tesla coils. And they're like, whoa, okay. And they like start trying to like take some of it away. And then like the kid like drives up and he's like, yo, grandma, what the fuck? he's like, grandma, what is this shit? And she's like, enough is enough. Like, she was like, I don't know what those machines are down there. Are you growing something? These people are getting rid of everything. He's like, don't touch my shit, granny. Oh. It's just like zapping electricity and just growing weed. It was a wild setup down there.
damn.
Yeah.
That's
Pretty metal.
pretty good.
Pretty cool.
It sounds awesome.
Yeah, it's like cyberpunk. I don't know what it is. It's really sick.
Taking advantage of his grandma. Nice.
Yeah.
Love
Story
that.
as old as time.
Oh yeah.
Did you ever hear of the company Service Master? I think that's what it's called.
No.
That's what I thought you were going to say your brother worked for.
That sounds super racist.
a
Actually.
little different.
It does.
Massa.
Service Matha.
But it was it's a company that like they do like certain, I don't fucking know totally what they do, but one of the things that they do is they are the people that they call to like clean up after like a murder or like a suicide.
Yo.
Damn.
And the fucking
Yikes.
like I didn't really like, speaking of smoking cigarettes, I always like would stand outside with the smokers just to get air, and it was always the most fun conversation because that's where people get
Yeah,
deep,
yeah.
is over a cig. And I remember just going out there and like I'm just all like happy, I'm young, I'm on this fucking paint crew, and I was like working, and then the Service Master guys were there, and I just get out there and I was like, oh, what are you guys talking about? They're like, we just cleaned up after a triple murder. I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, we're fucking sweeping up brains. I was like,
Oh my
I
god.
was like, all right, dude, does anybody want a bacon, egg, and cheese? I'm not going to get one, you know?
That's when you,
That's so dark.
dude. That is when you
Rough.
have that Matt Damon cigarette.
Oh,
Yeah, that one's the only thing getting you through. Yeah,
The Ben Affleck, he's like, fuck.
yeah. The Ben Affleck cigarette.
I've been married 5 times. Now I'm with J-Lo again. God damn it.
You
I
had
have
the
to
Matt
go.
Damon cigarette, though, because I think he does fire up one after he has sex in Good Will Hunting.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe
Yeah.
it. Matt
Right.
Damon.
Matt Damon.
Good Will Hunting. Will Hunting definitely smoked in his house. For
yeah,
sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure. Well,
know?
in the 90s, that was normal, dude. That's how I grew up. My dad would smoke in the house.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I think I think they did for a little bit, but then they would always go in the backyard, and then they quit smoking when I was really
Yeah.
young.
Was your dad brand loyal with beer?
Fuck yeah.
Really?
It was. Budweiser, Bud Heavies.
Bud Heavies.
Bud Heavies.
America's beer.
Up until later in life, he switched to Bush, maybe for economic
Is
reasons.
he still is he still alive?
No, he passed away a few
okay.
years back.
Well, listen, thank God he didn't have to go through the whole Bud Light scandal, because he would have
Yeah, I would have really taken the wind out of his
he would have had a lot of
Yeah.
opinions. I bet.
Yeah, I thank God every day he passed away a few years ago, so that he didn't have to live through that.
Cranking Bud Diesels is a fucking choice, because
It's
those
a choice, dude.
they're fucking, they build men.
Yeah.
Yeah. He cranked Bud Diesels and he smoked Cowboy Killers. Pack and a half,
Damn.
2 packs a day. Just
Oh.
all red. Just he was a cowboy, man.
He's American.
Was he a man's man?
I think so, yeah. I mean, he did like
Yeah.
construction for a living,
That's gone, dude.
Yeah, Budweiser.
Yeah.
Budweiser
Different time.
tastes like the beer that your dad gave you a sip of in the backyard
Exactly
when you were
what it
like
is.
7.
Yeah,
and you were like,
yeah.
oh, it's gross.
Yeah.
And now you're like,
how does
"God,
anyone drink this?
So good.
Yeah, I know. This is the greatest thing ever.
When I graduated high school, we had like a graduation party at my mom's house, and my dad came in town for it and got me a case of natural ice.
Jesus.
Maybe the
Lord.
worst tasting beer ever.
Oh,
It's like
created.
malt liquor.
It
It's
is
horrific.
He wrapped it though, which was nice of him. And and I
Congratulations, Ray.
That's crazy.
and I opened it
And
and I
what
was like-
newspaper? What did he wrap?
the funnies. He
Yeah, I was
wrapped it in
gonna say
the
the
funnies.
funnies.
I was like, dude, I was like, this is fucking. I was like, it's natural ice, dude. I was like, I'm a college boy now. I was
You're a
like,
man
you know?
now, son.
And then he was like, yeah, but like, 3 of those will get you fucked up. And he was right, dude. I was in bed by like 10 p.m.
These could last you most of your first semester.
Dude, do you remember Bud Light Platinum?
Yeah.
Dude, when I would always drink Bud Light like in college, right after college. And one summer, I was like, oh, Bud Light Platinum, BLPs, dude, let's move to it. Dude, those, just a little bit extra. It was like a beer and a half for every beer. Dude, by the time you drink like 10 of them, that's like 17 beers.
Yeah.
Your math's off.
Wow.
Well, whatever they are. 12 beers, 17, Oh, man, I was in bed. I remember I drank them at a graduation
if
party.
Bud Light
I
could
was
see
asleep.
what you just said, they'd be like, this is our target demo. Whatever this man just said that makes no sense.
Yeah.
Dude, having 11 of those would be like 16 and a half.
No, change nothing. We're not even going to write a script.
Yeah, I guess this is super. Do you remember the Miller Lite Vortex bottles?
Yes.
Yeah. Because people are struggling to get the beer out of the bottle fast enough.
Oh,
so you
God.
need a Vortex to get it out faster.
Dude, nothing's more American than you like beer, but you can't drink it quick enough? Try our Vortex bottle.
Well, that's what I said about like Miller Lite and like Bud Light for a while. They weren't trying to make their beer taste good. They were like, we're going to make vented cans. And and
Gimmicks.
Vortex bottles. We're gonna see how fast we can get our shitty beer down your fucking throat.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't like we got this new, honey wheat beer. It's like,
Do you remember when they did
freaking
Bud Light, whatever, when that was their motto?
no?
It was amazing. It was my favorite slogan they ever had. It was in like 2012, and it
remember
was
it.
Bud Light, whatever. I swear to God, you can look it up. And they built a town in like Arizona called Whatever USA. And you could win a trip to Whatever USA.
Oh.
And it was like the original fire festival. It was
That's
like
so funny.
people went down to this. There was like no water there. They just had like a water tower filled with Bud Light. And like they like built this town overnight. And like for a marketing thing, for like take pictures. And like people like flew in for like a weekend to get like trashed. Like the saddest people in the country.
Did you go?
And that was a little before my time, but yeah.
Whatever USA.
Yeah, that'd be rad. If they bring that back, 3 of us should go.
Oh, I would go.
I'm down.
Yeah.
That's a trip.
Dude, the Vortex bottles ripped. They actually worked.
Yeah.
They came out of there fast,
They
dude.
actually worked. Again, you're on a commercial. They actually work, man.
That's what they need to do, dude. None of this like getting fancy with their marketing. Just put a guy like one of us on there.
Normally, it takes me about an hour to get really blacked out drunk. But with these Vortex bottles, I shave off 3 seconds per bottle.
Yeah, I'm at 12 beers close to having like 14. Said 34-year-old man from Pittsburgh.
You ever come home from shoveling dead animals off the highway and you got to forget it all? The Vortex bottle.
Yeah, it makes you about 13% faster.
Jesus Christ.
We're at about an hour.
Yeah, we hit an hour.
We know this diva has a heart out.
Yeah, you got to
I'm
get
a
out of here,
diva.
right?
Show up late, have to leave early. It's a
I mean, it's
nightmare.
crazy. Well, dude, thank you for coming back. Thank you for being on.
absolutely.
Tell the people where they can find you. This will be out like not this Wednesday, but next Wednesday.
Next Wednesday.
Yeah, okay. You can find me on Instagram at Nunnagram, YouTube, Joe Nunnink, TikTok at Joe Nunnink, and then follow Echo Chamber Podcast.
Oh,
Yeah,
yeah.
I got a little pod, me and Trent Mabry.
Love
comedian,
Trent.
friend of the show, right? We'll get you guys on sometime.
Oh, would love it,
love
dude.
that.
We got to find a third chair so we can keep having guests. We're working on it. It's new.
Hey.
I'll kneel.
Yeah, but we read the Wall Street Journal.
I'll
and then we talk about stories from the Wall Street Journal. because
Oh, that's good.
One of us gets it for free from work. So
Oh, dude. Also, to check out your sketches, dude. So I've told you this, but some of the best sketches on there.
hilarious.
Thanks, buddy.
Really, I truly believe it. So the people should definitely go and check those out. I've told you this, but you and Gillian Keeves are the only
That's
sketches
very-
that make
it's
me
very
laugh,
flattering.
and they're great, man.
it's very flattering.
Very good.
And you and Gillian Keeves, only sketches I like. Vortex Bottle, the only thing that works.
The only thing that satisfies my thirst for comedy
Yeah.
is that.
And lastly, I guess if anyone by chance is listening from the Kansas City area,
Whoa!
I'll be headlining the Comedy Club of Kansas City December 21st through the 23rd, Christmas weekend.
Look out.
Come hang out, watch a show. It's gonna be a great time.
Joe
Hell yeah,
Nunnink, the
dude.
gift that keeps on giving. Go see him, and definitely, give him all the follows and check out the pod. Him and Trent are fucking hilarious. You could find me at Ray Zawodni on all social media. This coming Saturday, I'll be back in my hometown of Pittsburgh doing stand up at Stage AE on my buddy Matt Light's big Christmas show. So that's gonna be a good one.
Ooh.
Check that out, and you can see me here every single fucking Wednesday on the Troublemakers podcast with.
Ooh. you. At Dylan Krasinski on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and at Troublemakers on all those sites. Follow us. We put out clips 3, 4, 5, sometimes 6 times a week. You never know. And go follow Joe. We'll see you next week, baby.
Bye.
Good night.